Hello, I'm Denise Galoni. Welcome to today's episode of Empowering You. My guest today is Michael Ricard. He is the owner of Wildcard Video Games. He's an entrepreneur. He buys and sells video games, has a store, has a wrestling connection, and oh, so much more. He's going to tell you about his journey becoming an entrepreneur and how he's been successful all these years. I hope you enjoyed today's episode.
It's gonna be better. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be better. Yeah. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
My guest today is Michael Ricard, owner of Wildcard Video Games. He owns a video store. He buys, sells, trades. He does toy shows. He has a wrestling connection. There's just so much. I can't wait for you to meet him today. Hello, Mike, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited. I wanted you to be on for a while because I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
But one thing I noticed is you really hustle. You hustle more than anyone that I know. You're always out there doing something. With the store, we'll talk about the wrestling, the toy
Mhm.
shows. You're just always out there doing something. So let me start by asking you, what made you decide to start your own business?
I actually first this store that I'm at now it was actually a sports card shop back in the '90s, late
Okay.
'90s, and then early 2000s. It didn't do as good as I thought it was going to do because it was a bad time to do a sports card shop. If I would have hung on to it for another 10 years, I mean, I'd be really good right now because
Yeah.
when I first opened, I was selling Pokemon cards, like I had first edition Pokemon cards when they first came out, like all
Wow.
that stuff. I was selling everything like that. But it just bellied up at the time. So then I closed up and I worked a regular job for about 10 more years. And then after that, I was just like, I seen there was a big, huge demand in video game stuff.
Mhm.
And that's where I was like, okay, maybe I should do the video game store. And I talked to my mom, and and then I looked at my financials, and I was like, okay, I could do this. And then I started buying collections off people, and just started the store up that way.
Yeah. So let me ask you, and we were talking before we started the show. You said that video games are really on a rise
They are.
over the past couple of years, and that's surprising because I know I go to different places and you see a dollar, like video games
Mm.
for like a dollar or such. So are people buying video games again, like the old retro video games?
Yeah, I'll sell probably like 4 or 5 video game consoles a week. And when it comes to games, like people are looking for N64 games, GameCube, even like original Nintendo is really hot right now again.
Wow.
And it's amazing how much people want it now, and everything's going now everything's going digital now. So
Hmm.
they want the physical copies. They want a physical copy of a game
Right.
and be like, hey, I want that, and I don't want download a game. They want the physical copy, so they say, hey, I have it, I own it.
Yeah. So what do you think the rise is in that? Why do you think people are buying more now?
I think it has a lot to do with this digital, with digital, everything going digital now.
Yeah.
And they want the physical copies, and that's what it is. And they want that nostalgia still. They want to be like, oh, I want to go bust out my Nintendo and play Burger Time, and I want to play Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
They just want that, and that's how it is. And I feel like a lot of people want to do that now. Even like PS2s are really popular again, and people want to play like the original Grand Theft Autos.
Wow. And years ago, you couldn't even give that stuff away at like garage sales. People wouldn't
No,
buy it.
no. That's where I used to get all my inventory was at garage sales all the time.
Yeah.
I put garage sales like weekly. I'd find stuff for like 5, $10. I'd be like piling it up. And that's one of the reasons why I have so much stuff at the moment. Because I used to do that like all the time, was going to garage sales and picking it up like that. Even with my wrestling stuff, all my wrestling figures and stuff like that, I'd do the same thing. People were just giving them away.
Right.
Now it's so hard to find this stuff.
Yeah. So your store is Wildcard Video Games.
Mhm.
And tell everybody where you're located because you're not in Pennsylvania. You're right
Yeah,
outside of
I'm in
Pennsylvania.
Niles, Ohio. I'm at 438 Robbins Avenue, Niles, Ohio. There's my card right there.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm at, and I'm in Niles, so about an hour and 10 minutes away from Pittsburgh. I'm always in Pittsburgh anyway, because I do a lot of shows out there, and I bring wrestlers to the area too. I was there what, last weekend, was it? Yeah, last weekend. I can't even remember my weeks anymore because I'm always busy.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So you have this store, and the
Mhm.
store's open what, pretty much every day, 6 days a week?
6 days a week,
days a week.
closed on Sundays, but if somebody wanted something on Sundays, I don't mind coming over real quick and selling something to them. I'm usually open 11 to 5 daily.
Mhm.
Unless something does go wrong, I usually post it on my Facebook page and say, hey, I'm closing early or opening late,
Right.
stuff like
So
that.
beside the store, and I've been to your store, and it's
Mm.
not far to get to at all. It's a
Yeah.
nice easy drive to get out there. You have a lot of stuff in your store. Any idea how much you have in your store?
Oh God, no. I have so much stuff. I actually have like almost 2 storage units full of stuff too that I don't even have out, which is it's bad to say, but a lot of that stuff is like a lot of toys because I don't do a lot of toys. I do toys at the store, but not as much as I want to. So that's where most of the stuff at storage. That's why when I do like toy shows, I mainly focus on toys there, and I'll
Yeah.
bring a lot of my video game stuff there because I keep it
Yeah.
here at the store.
And that's it. So besides doing the store, this is why I say you really hustle. You're out there doing toy shows a lot.
Yep, and I
And you're
do.
you're out
Just
there, you have a couple tables. I mean, you bring a lot of toys with you.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago, I just did Butler Toy Show out in Butler, PA. So, like I said, I'm in PA a lot. So,
Right.
yeah, I'm always doing toy shows whenever I can. When it's finance, when it's good for me to do a toy show. I don't just do a toy show just every week and be like, oh, I'm gonna go this there and I'll go there. No,
Right.
I make sure I'm always doing things.
Right. And you do, and I mentioned whenever I was introducing you, you besides selling, you do buy things.
I do buy collections whenever it's applicable when I can do it. And big thing I like to buy is like old video game stuff. I don't like to buy the newer stuff because you need that store still. And I love buying anything wrestling related when it comes to like figures, cards, magazines, belts, autographs. I buy all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You bought quite a few things off me. I have some more for you because I'm doing some more purging. So I'll be
Yeah,
calling you soon.
I always like buying stuff off you when you say, "Hey, I got some stuff," and I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll take it off your hands. No big deal."
Yeah. And people are wondering, it's so easy. I just meet him somewhere, open my trunk, he looks through and says, okay, here you go, here's the cash, and that's it. We say goodbye. Nice and easy.
Well, I always like
Transaction.
to ask what you're hoping to get first, because whenever anyone tries to sell something, they always have in their mind saying, "This is what I'd like to get."
Right.
And if it's the right price I want to do, then sure, I'm going to do that for you. But if you're doing lower and I see it's a little bit more, I'm going to give you a little bit more, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like
Fair, fair.
lowball
Right.
you and be like, "Oh yeah, here you go. Here's what you get," whatever.
Right.
That's usually how I work everything because I gotta, in the long run, yes, I have to make money on my ends, and that's how it goes.
Yeah. But you're of course you have to make money or she wouldn't
Yeah,
be in the store.
correct.
It's very fair. So besides the store open
Mhm,
just about every day and
mhm.
the toy shows, there's also a wrestling component to you.
Yeah,
So how did
I'm co-owner of ATT Promotions. We're based out of the Pennsylvania area in Northeast Ohio.
Mhm.
We do a lot of things in Pittsburgh area, up in Erie. There's a shop called Action Toy Man. We bring wrestlers there, and then out here to Northeast Ohio, we bring wrestlers here.
So when you say you bring wrestlers, people may not understand what you mean. So
Uh,
you and your partner Anthony,
yeah,
you find these.
y-
Are they retired wrestlers mostly?
most of them are retired. I mean, we do bring a couple in that still wrestle here and there. Like couple like last year, we brought in Fandango and Tyler Breeze. They
Mhm.
wrestled at a place called Wrestling Under the Stars here in Niles. So yeah, we usually bring them in for autograph signings. That's how it goes. Like, you know, it's really fun because you get to know the wrestlers and get to talk to them and see how they're doing still. It's
Mhm.
fun sometimes, and then you get some wrestlers are a little wild there, but it just what goes on.
Right. So have you always been a wrestling fan? And for as long as I met you at a wrestling show.
I
Right.
have. I think I was 7 years old. I flipped through the TV one day and I just stumbled on wrestling. I seen like this guy, a wild guy running down in the ring. And I was like, what is this? I just stopped channel surfing and just started watching that. It was person coming down the ring was the Ultimate Warrior. That's why
Oh, yes.
Ultimate Warrior was one of my favorite wrestlers back in the day. And
Mhm.
I was a big Ultimate Warrior fan. I was a big Mr. Perfect fan. I did not like Hulk Hogan at all. And then when they left, I became a Bret Hart fan. I didn't like Shawn Michaels. It just went the spiral effect. It's like after that, I became a Triple H fan. I didn't like The Rock. I just kept going like that. That's who I kept doing. There's always somebody I didn't like, and I always went for the other person.
So how long has ATD production or promotions been around?
I believe Anthony has started like 6 years ago. I've been with him for almost 4. I want to say now. Yeah, I just asked him one day. I was like, "Hey, you interested in a business partner?" And he's like, "Yeah, we could do something like that." And then we started doing that. Then last year we brought another guy on. His name is Phil. He goes by he has a business called Flying V. He does hardwood flooring here in the area. He's a really nice guy too, and he does a lot for us too.
So how many wrestlers do you think you have brought for people to meet?
Oh, geez.
Just ballpark, because I know you have,
Maybe
you didn't know I was gonna ask you this question, so
35,
you-
somewhere
30.
around there, 30, 35, I want to say, somewhere around there. And we're still looking for more new ones to bring. Especially, every year it's always a difficult challenge because we don't want to bring the same people around, next year, be like, oh, we're going to bring this person back around here. We like having different people every single time we do something.
Right.
It's just like, like coming up, we have couple weeks we have Christy Hemme coming to Pittsburgh area and Jackie Moore. We have them two coming, and they're going to be around the area here too, and up in Erie also.
So besides, and I said you hustle, you really hustle when you're working as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You have your store, you have co-owner of ATD Promotions, bring all the wrestlers, and you also have the Retro Market.
I do. I do that 2 times a year. It's an outside event. It's called Retro Toy Market. You can look it up on Facebook. We have it's an outside event where we have other people come up there to set up and sell their toys and wares. And we also have bring a couple wrestlers there. And there's also last year to start, we have a wrestling company called Mega Championship Wrestling. Here's a little flyer for you guys to see. It's the next one coming up June 7th to 2025 with Greg the Hammer Valentine and Tony Atlas coming. Mega Championship Wrestling. They're based up in Cleveland. They bring a free wrestling show. You can just come out, sit down, watch a wrestling show for the day. It's pretty fun.
And eat some good pizza.
Oh yeah, pizza, cannolis, and maybe have like a smoothie too. Yeah, we do all that kind of stuff. Free admission to come in, just to hang out. Then during that time too, my store's like 2 houses over. Stores open too. People come in and shop at my store too.
Very friendly event. As you said, free admission, sit there, bring your lawn chairs, watch the wrestling, eat some pizza.
Yeah,
And
last summer, one of the wrestling matches ran into the street. Went into the street too, so it was pretty wild. It was a street fight. It's pretty wild between Joey Martini and this guy named Shogun. Yeah, it was pretty wild. It got a little wild. Even I think one of the wrestlers even got a lemon shake spilled on him.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. So with all that you do, what else do you have coming up? I know you have an event coming up at the end of February where you said you're bringing, Christy, Hemme, and Jacqueline, an event.
Yeah, we'll have them
coming
at Horror Realm. That's in Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be March 1st is going to be the date for that. And the next day we'll have them in Erie, PA up at Action Toy Man. And then in Renegade Toys, which is in Boardman, Ohio at nighttime for that. And then after that, the following week, we're going to be down in Cincinnati area. There's a wrestling show down there where we're bringing Alicia Fox and Maria Canales going to be there. And the following weekend, I know, 3 weekends in a row, crazy. We have Tito Santana and Marty Jannetty going to be at the Columbus Toy Show in Columbus, Ohio.
You really are busy there.
Yeah, that's a busy month for us. And it doesn't stop there because we have things going on in April. Crazy amount of things going on in April also. So we just keep it going, just keep flowing.
So besides selling video games at your store, because I don't want people to think you just sell video games and video systems, you do sell a lot of wrestling memorabilia. You were talking about the championship belts. You
Yep.
also, when you bring these celebrities or these superstars in, these wrestling superstars, if people can't get there, you also get additional autographs that you sell in your store.
Mhm.
Or people can reach out to you, and you could, send them pictures and mail them to them. So I don't want people think if they're not local, they're missing out, because you could still
Oh
get.
yeah, yeah. Contact me. I ship stuff to everybody. If you're looking for somebody like a wrestler that we've had in the past, I more than likely have like 8x10 or cards or even a figure. I mean, a action figure signed already that you can buy right off me, and I can ship it right to you.
Mhm.
I have so much of that. It's not even funny. I had to make a whole new room, basically, not a new room, but a new area for all the rest autographs that I have.
Lots and lots.
Oh yeah, and I'm always
So
looking for more though. That's the thing.
always looking for more.
Yeah.
So what haven't you done with your store that you want to do? Any plans for the future?
I'd like to move some stuff upstairs where we have more rooms upstairs, but it's more of a if we can make it happen basically, because I wanted to make one room and a whole room of all toys, so I can get rid of one of my storage units. That'd
Yeah.
be a delight to do, but it just what goes on sometimes. Something happens where I can't do it at the moment, and maybe it's going to be this week I can do it, but like last year I wanted to do that, but it just didn't fall into place where it could happen.
And your store is it a Victorian house? That's what reminds me of, like a little Victorian home.
We like to call it a gingerbread house, to be honest with you, because
Okay, yeah,
it looks like
okay.
a gingerbread house. But yeah, it is a very, very older house. It's been here, I think, almost 200 years, I want to say, maybe somewhere around there. But yeah, it's a very nice. It's different. You come into the store, you're like, is this really a store? You come in here, and then you're like, wow, it is a store, because
Mhm.
they're like amazed how much I have in here, because they're expecting like, oh, this isn't going to be nothing. Then they come in and they're like, wow, okay, this is a good, nice looking store.
Mm.
I had a lot of people like do like videos and they put on YouTube and stuff like that. They come in here and like they want to film, and I'm like, I don't care. Yeah, go ahead. I don't care what you do. So I
Right.
get that quite often. I had a guy come in a couple weeks ago. He did like a little video of him buying some games under $20 because I actually have really good prices on my stuff. I'm not like, trying to nickel and dime everything I can, but I do have good prices on my items.
So let me ask you, so you've been in business. How long have you had your store? The
Um,
store, not the
video
cards,
game
but the
part,
store.
video games now. I've been on. This is going to be year number 11 now.
Congratulations. So, Mike, what would you, if someone came to you and said, "Oh, I really love what you're doing. I want to do the same thing. I want to open a store with video games." What advice would you tell somebody besides run? No, I'm kidding.
I would just say best of luck. I hope you do really well. I never want to say anything bad to somebody. Say,
No,
oh,
I mean, what
do that.
advice would you give them? That's what I was getting at. What advice would you give
Advice is just hustle as much as you can. Just get out there and hustle. Don't take no for an answer.
them?
Just always see what you can do. See what's the most popular thing you can start with. Say Pokemon's coming back again because they have new Pokemon set out. Maybe start with Pokemon cards first. Start getting them graded, because graded cards are like crazy prices. Start something like that. Start something small. Don't go gung ho and just try to do everything at once, because that never works. Because when I first started, I maybe had like, I don't know, maybe 100 Nintendo games and maybe like 40 or 50 Super Nintendo games and 30 or 40 PS2 games. And that's what I started with. And then I started getting more and more stuff after a while.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do like how you have different revenue streams, because as an entrepreneur, you have to do that.
You do.
You have to do that. You have different things going on, the toy shows and the retro toy market and the whole wrestling, the autographs. And so you have different streams of revenue coming in. They're just so important as an entrepreneur.
I sometimes think it's too many hands in a cookie jar, but
Mhm.
but it works sometimes. There's days where I think I'm doing something wrong. I maybe get like one or two customers and it comes through the door, but I do revenue on, I sell on eBay, I sell on Whatnot. I do that also, but that helps me out too.
Mhm.
It's just sometimes, I do think in my mind, there's too many hands in a cookie jar, but it works. It works.
It works. I don't know how you do it, but it works.
I just keep rolling. That's what it is. Get up every day. It's another new day. Just got to figure out what to do next. That's, next step.
Mhm. Yeah. So any final thoughts you want to share with the people that are watching this?
Just, do good in your life and just keep going with whatever you have to, whatever you're thinking, what you want to do. Like if you want to start something like this up, just keep thinking, what's the best way I can do it, and maybe do something different than the other person. And that's about it. That's all I can think of.
Yeah. And I really like how you said that you had the car store and it was the wrong time for it.
It was, like I said, if I would have held on to that for a couple more years, I would have been good, because I see it now, because I go to these card shows now, because we bring the wrestlers there to the card show, and I'm just like, man, if I would have held on to it for a couple more years.
That crystal ball we all
Yeah.
need. Don't we need that crystal ball?
Yeah, it's you wish now. I wish I could go back in time and buy all these Pokemon first edition boxes and be like, hold on to them for a couple years and be like, here, I'm just gonna hold on to them. Then I can sell them for $100,000. I'll be good. But
Yeah,
no,
very
it's
good.
just what went on. It's just how it went at the time.
But that didn't stop you.
It
Like
did
you said,
not.
you
It
worked a
did.
full-time job. You're like, you still have that entrepreneur spirit. You want to get back out there and start another store.
Yep, that's what I did too. I just, I had enough working for a company, and I was just like, "Well, it's time to do a store again."
It's time to do a store.
Mm.
Okay. And I just want to say that you are still buying things from people, wrestling,
Absolutely.
video games, more retro things, toys.
Yep, I buy usually from 80s to 90s toys, anything wrestling related. I don't care what it is. It could be magazines, figures, cards, belts, autographs. It don't matter with wrestling. As long as it's in good condition, I will more than likely buy it.
Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing part of your store. I know we see some behind you there. It's a beautiful store. It is, you use every bit of that store too. When I walked in there,
I do. From
I was a
pillar
little
to
shocked
pillar to
too.
pillar.
Yeah,
To wall to
when I first
wall.
walked in, I was a little shocked. I've seen pictures that you've shared on Facebook. But I walked in, I thought every inch of the store has something in it. It's just so amazing.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to come on. Thank you so much, and thank you.
Sure, and continued success.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's gonna be great. It's
Thank you for
gonna be
watching today's episode of Empowering You. I'd like to thank my guest, Michael Ricord. He gave some great stories, great advice on how to be an entrepreneur and to really hustle. Have those different revenue streams to make things work. I hope he inspired and empowered you to live your best life possible. Thank you for watching and see you next time.
It's gonna